Alright, good evening. I'm not a guru, okay? So I will not sell you a $1,000 seminar or a $20,000 coaching program. So this is wholesaling without the hype and without the BS, okay? So, 5 things. First, I'm going to talk about what is wholesaling, right? So let's be on the same page here. I know some of you are experienced wholesalers, others are totally newbies. We'll do a little bit of definition in there. Next, why learn wholesaling? And again, I know some of you are landlords, some of you are rehabbers, but it's always good to have wholesaling as part of your toolbox so that whatever deal that you encounter, wherever you encounter them, you know exactly what to do and how to make money. Third, how do you wholesale properties? So now we will go to the nuts and bolts of this, okay? Next, I like that part, what not to do when wholesaling, okay? Because I've encountered, unfortunately, not so good or not so diligent wholesalers, and they give wholesaling as an industry a bad rap, okay? And I will tell you what not to do. So I don't want any one of you calling me with my own deal, because that means you did not listen to it, okay? that's a hint of what to do, okay? Next is, of course, how to succeed in wholesaling, all right? But first, a little bit about me. I will not, it's so funny when these gurus present for a 1-hour presentation, they discuss their lives for the next 15 minutes, right? And they give you like 5 minutes of content and then 5 minutes of, it's crazy. So this one, I just go through this. You have to have, I don't want to belabor this, but I actually did not start wholesaling when I started in real estate investing. I started as a landlord. I did a lot of lease options, okay? Then I went into rehabbing. Then I went into wholesaling, and I love wholesaling. I still love rehabbing. A little bit about landlording, right? But wholesaling is great because it gives you like that infusion of cash. And who here needs cash? Raise your hand. Those who don't need cash, well, I don't know, maybe you didn't understand the question. I owned past tense single-family homes, but I transitioned away from that, and I'm a part owner of a 133-unit apartment complex in Loveland, Ohio. So I love apartment complexes, and I'm looking, to buy more of them. And then I actually started real estate investing in Ohio. And then I took a 18-month sabbatical in 2010. I came back here. My business partner invited me to come to Chicago. And then in 2013, I restarted my real estate business. Okay. Last year, we acquired 20 houses in 2 cities: Chicago, Illinois, and Fort Myers, Florida. And then late last year, I also started lending money, okay, to other real estate investors. I'm a Bigger Pockets member. Who here is a member of Bigger Pockets? Great. It's a wonderful site, isn't it? Okay. And who has heard or who has read my Real Life of Real Estate Investment? Not a lot of you. Who has read my Real Life of Real Estate Investment? Okay. All right. Well, almost 1 year ago, 51 weeks to be exact, because I track it every week. I actually write what's happening in my real estate business, both the good, the bad, the ugly. It's all public information. That's why it's kind of scary. When I went to Florida, like this guy knew everything about what I did because everything is on Bigger Pockets. So basically, I tell them, hey, this week I bought this property. I saw this property. This is what I've learned. Okay. The next week, oh, you know what? I screwed up. I sent the buyer to the wrong house. Believe it or not, I did that. I sent the buyer to 501 Illinois Street, and my house is 503 Illinois Street. And when he went there, he said, well, the door is kicked in. Okay, that's weird. There's no, there's a lockbox. So anyway, good thing he did not get killed or shot. mistakes, even though I've done this business for a long time, you know. So if a guru tells you or if someone tells you that he hasn't committed a bad investment decision, well, run the opposite way. He's a liar, okay? Then I started about, when was this, like 8 weeks ago, this real life of a private lender, wherein, because I see on Bigger Pockets, everybody has questions on how do I get money, right? How do I get money from my deals, right? So I'd like you guys to know how private lenders like us think, okay? That's why I started the real life of a private lender. And I live here like 3 minutes away in life with my wife, daughter, Clara. So let's jump into it, okay? What is wholesaling? It's very simple. You find a great deal, you legally control it, and then you find a buyer, you either assign or sell that legal control. Alright? And don't worry, for some of you who are newbies, we will go through it step by step. Okay? Why learn wholesaling? Alright. I don't care if you're the most anal, organized person in the world and you know how to read people. But if you don't have a property to manage, you will be screwed as a landlord, right? I don't care if you're like the most handyman person who can convert a dump into a palace, right? But if you don't have a rehab property, then you're screwed, right? So finding good deals, to me, is the most crucial skill that a real estate investor needs to learn, right? That's the first step. If you don't go to base one, to the first base, you can't go to the second base, right? So you need to learn how to find good deals. And wholesalers, at least the good ones, we are good at that, okay? Otherwise, we cannot feed a family, all right? Okay, why learn wholesaling? Because you don't have unlimited funds. Who here has unlimited funds? Raise your hand. Okay, I'm glad no one did, or maybe, okay. If you have unlimited funds, you're part of the Federal Reserve, okay? But all of us are not part of the Federal Reserve, obviously. So if you don't have unlimited funds, which everybody don't have unlimited funds, right? If you do a good job in finding deals, you will have more deals than money. Okay? So that's what I experience day in, day out. I mean, one of my acquisition vice president, Jay here, kept on pushing me to get more and more money because we are getting so many deals. Okay? So if you don't have unlimited funds, then it's wise for you to wholesale some of the properties that you get, so at least you take advantage of that opportunity, right? Okay. That's a funny picture there. So, opportunity cost. Alright? Wholesaling allows you to take advantage of all the deals that you get. Right? Because if you get a deal 1 hour away from you and you pass by it, you said pass because it's too far, well, that's a shame, right? Because you did not make money on that. But if you know how to wholesale, it doesn't matter. Heck, we wholesaled like, what, March 5th? Thursday, right? Yeah. Yeah, Thursday. A property in Indianapolis. So if you know how to wholesale, you can also take advantage not just of the deals that are far from you. You can take advantage of the deals you don't want to do. Let's say you're not used to doing properties with structural damage. You only want to do paint, carpet, and kitchen remodeling or bathroom remodeling, right? But you get a property where the foundation is bowed down or whatever, and most people will just pass by it. Well, it's too much work. I don't want to do that. Well, can you wholesale it? Okay, right? So that's opportunity cost. Okay. I say wholesale because it allows me to generate quick cash. Like a simple question that I ask people. In fact, I asked one of my investors from Hong Kong, Ian, I'm always presented with a choice. Do I want to make $10,000 in 30 days, or do I want to make $20,000 or $30,000 in 6 months? Okay? So sometimes I choose the $10,000 in 30 days. That's why I still wholesale to them. Okay? And of course, as I said, I want to make money on as many deals that I can. You know, I mean, sometimes I put out marketing and that marketing costs money, right? So I want to maximize the return on my marketing dollars, and therefore, I want to wholesale some of the deals that I get and rehab and rent out some of the deals, you know, the rest, okay? These are the properties that I have, you know, if you can see, it's, you know, from Antioch all the way down to, actually, I didn't even include a deal that we have in Dalton right now. So it's all over the place, okay? So I mean, can you imagine rehabbing all of them? I mean, just the trip alone will take you from one place to the next and back. I mean, that's 2-3 hours, okay? So, and since there's no pitching here, I will not, you know, really sell the properties, but I wanna show you guys like some of the properties that we get, you know, and the ones labeled R, those are our rehab deals, and then the one labeled L, that's a lease option deal. Okay, so but the rest are wholesale deals, right? So here, Antioch, I mean, you have the handout, so I'll just go through this very quickly. This one, we are rehabbing this. We should be selling this soon on the MLS. Glenview is a 6-unit apartment building. Okay. Elmhurst here in DuPage County for 139, 2-bed, 1-bath. This one, Glen Ellen, we are actually closing on this. Okay, this one is just to show you that for this particular deal, I actually bought this deal from a wholesaler. Okay, so I don't mind buying a deal from a wholesaler, provided, you know, that deal makes sense, right? That's what all of you guys want, right? A deal that makes sense. So, I mean, this wholesaler who sold me this deal, he will make 15 grand with this deal, okay? But I'll make 40. So I think that's a fair trade, right? So, you know, we have a deal in Northside, in Portage Park, you know, Southside, the dreaded Southside, you know, so for only $6,000, makes sense why, right? We have a deal townhome in Villa Park. So as you can see, the deals that we get, you know, houses, we have condos. Actually, the next one we have condo. No, that's the other one. Yeah. So, I mean, sometimes I get land too. You know, Zach Shepard, where's Zach? There you go. So if you have a land deal, you don't know what to do with it, talk to that guy. Okay. So Mount Greenwood, Chicago, Country Club Hills. This one is a great deal. You know, I told one of our investors last Saturday that this particular condo, I wish the buyer actually doesn't go through with this because
you want it.
Yeah, I want it. You know, so sometimes I kind of, oh shoot, I shouldn't have sold that. You know, so Olympia Fields. Then we have a lease option deal too. So yeah, so we do also all sorts of things depending on the property. We want to maximize the profit for every deal, and the whole concept behind wholesaling is you want the velocity of money, right? You know, so you want $5, $10, $15,000, you know, like every week, right? And then the bigger chunks of cash, like every 3 months. Okay? So, all right. Now let's go to how to wholesale step by step. But first, do you guys have any questions on, you know, the basics of what is wholesaling and why do you need to learn how to wholesale? Yes.
What is better, option to lease or wholesale?
What is the better option to lease or wholesale? Okay, that's well, the answer is it depends. Okay, it always depends, right? It depends on you, first of all. What's your investment objectives? Okay, you know, what do you really want to get out of real estate, right? You know, what's your experience in dealing with tenants? That's the other thing too. How much time can you devote to wholesaling versus being a landlord? So those are considerations that I cannot answer for you. You have to answer them. But in general, the nice thing about these options is, and this is not a topic about these options, but you get 3 streams of income from a lease option deal. You get the down payment, the monthly cash flow, and then you get the back-end equity. And on top of that, if you go beyond 1 year, then you get depreciation also. So you get the benefit of rental properties without, with lesser management headaches, I would say. Not totally zero management headaches, but lesser. So it's up to you. But what I like about wholesaling is that, that steady stream of cash, number one. And number two, I get to become good at the most crucial skill of a real estate investor, which is finding deals. Right? So that's why I love wholesaling. But I still do rent to own, Okay. I saw a hand. Yes?
I was just going to ask how you source them. So I mean, when you go through this,
I'll teach you how to find deals. Okay. In fact, I have a bonus section at the end. So yes.
So you own all these properties. It's not like you are just sign them. Did you already close on them, or you still?
No, I don't. I don't own them, but I have them under contract.
For how long?
It depends. Sometimes I have a property under contract for 3 to 6 months, depending on the deal.
How do you keep them on that long contract?
Well, if it's not on the MLS, if it's with a motivated seller,
okay.
So I can do it that way. But if it's with HUD, you have 30 to 45 days to close. But I'll discuss the details in the mechanics as we go along. Any other questions? No? All right. Yes.
I was just wondering, when you come across like a wholesale deal, that particular seller is not in a real good position, probably. How does tax do? Let's say they haven't paid their tax bill in 3 years.
How does that come into play? Yeah. Well, number one, I don't want to pay it. It's not legal to pay it, right? So it's not the wholesaler's responsibility to pay the taxes. So he can sometimes pass the deal to his buyer, and the buyer pays for the taxes. Now, it depends on the deal, right? For example, this particular deal in the south side, that particular house has back taxes of how much, Dave? Like 2,000?
No, 7,000.
No, but the seller paid for.
Oh yeah, the seller paid 2,000 of taxes, and then
Right.
there's another 1,000 of water.
Okay, so there's $3,000 of cost in it, but we got the house for $1.
Not 50.
Okay, so when we sell it for 6, we make 3. So, but the buyer pays for it. Now, bottom line, the numbers just have to work. If the numbers don't work, then you pass on the deal. So, yes.
maybe you can clarify how you got the house for $1.
Oh, you want to know how? Because all right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not exaggerating, but I've gotten several houses for $1. In the spot, in the right area, to be politically correct. Okay. I mean, it just depends on the deal, it depends on the area, right? So we put out marketing out there, bandit signs, direct mail to absentee landlords, and it just so happened that this seller actually called Jay, right? And, I taught him how to negotiate, and Jay basically said, okay, you don't want this house, right? Yeah. All right, then we'll just take over your problem. Did they mention anything about the price? No. He doesn't want to get any money out of the property. His motivation is he is sick and tired of this. Because this is a money pit for him. And we're providing a solution, and therefore, we deserve to get paid. So, yeah, that's it. So, yes?
So the ARV on that 40,000, but you're going to put $65,000.
Yeah, I know, it doesn't make sense, right? I mean, to be honest, when I talk to Jay, this doesn't make sense, right? Yeah. But it makes sense to a landlord in that area. Okay? So, and the 65,000, with the right landlord, with the right staff or whatever, you can make this livable for 40. So, but obviously you can rehab it and resell it. That's not the exit strategy. Yes.
What was your holding time and what was your full-time cost?
For this one, zero.
You followed, did it have a mortgage or anything on it?
No, it doesn't.
So it's free and clear?
Yeah, straight clear. So we
Except
don't.
for taxes.
Right, and the seller pays for that, not us. Yeah. Yeah, as much as possible, it's not coming out of my
You
pocket.
have to lose and watch.
Okay. All right. Let's go through the 5 steps on how to wholesale. Okay. Step number 1 is find great deals. This is a very crucial step. Now, a lot of so-called wholesalers out there, they get a real estate agent and they tell the real estate agent, okay, make offers on 50 properties, okay, that I want, right? And then they will try to wholesale their deal, you know, for the list price on the MLS. I mean, that's crazy. Okay, don't do that. Okay. I've been presented several opportunities to do that, and it's like doesn't make sense. Okay, so why will I buy off of a wholesaler when it's available on the MLS for the same price, right? Doesn't make sense. So our favorite strategy right now is HUD, getting properties from HUD. You know, we have a proprietary system on how to make offers on HUD properties. Okay, and you know, we are able to get them. Later on, I will show you an actual example of a HUD deal that we got and how much cheaper that we got it for versus the list price. Okay. Last year we bought like several properties from local banks. Okay. Don't deal with the national banks. You'll just be wasting time. Okay. Don't deal with the Fifth Third, Chase, you know, Bank of America, whatever, you know, they won't even talk to you, okay? So what we do is we approach local banks and we tell them, look, we can buy all of your properties, and we do. We actually make offers on all of their inventory. And then, you know, so we have relationships now with some banks, and they will tell us, all right, buy, you know, I'll offer my properties first to you, buy whatever you can, and what's left we will list on the MLS. So you can do that, okay? We also buy from other wholesalers, you know, so the Glen Ellen deal is an example of that, you know. So sometimes I get deals from other wholesalers that I wholesale, you know, like you know, someone said it's like a triple bypass, like a triple bypass, right? So the wholesaler wholesale it to me, and then I wholesale it to a buyer, you know. So, but everybody makes money, even the buyer. Okay, most importantly, the buyer should make money. Okay. We do direct mail, like that property we got for $1. That's a direct mail campaign, you know, to absentee owners with high equity. There you go. That's a tip right there. Okay. We put out bandit signs. You know, does anyone here know why bandit signs are called bandit signs? Yeah, it's not legal in some places. That's why it's bandit, right? And then we attend foreclosure auctions, although we really don't generally like auctions because you're competing with, you know, a lot, you know, other investors out there. You're also competing with banks. So, but you can find, yes, Jim.
Going back to HUD, do you have proof of funds to show HUD when you offer these properties?
Yes.
How long do you have to go to close the deal?
Yes, okay, the question is, you need proof of funds for HUD, and how long do you have to close? The answer is yes, you need proof of funds, number 1, and then number 2, depending on the deal and the asset manager, generally you have 30 days. But sometimes we can get 45 days, you know, and then you can file an extension too. Depending on your financing, you can extend the deal. Okay, here's another tip, okay? Man, we should drive the gurus out of business, right? You know, because, I mean, believe me, the information you're getting here, the gurus are charging thousands and thousands of dollars for this information, and we're giving it away for free, okay? So, don't you like, you know, the Chicago area, Ria. Why don't we give them a round of applause? So, you can also extend the HUD deal by paying $375. You can extend that by 2 weeks, and sometimes we can extend the HUD deal 2 or 3 times, so that 45 days can become 75 days. You know, if you do it right, or even 90 days. Yes.
When you put a bid in for a HUD or REO, and they want $1,000, if you, some reason don't find an end buyer, do you actually buy the property or you let the money go?
It depends. Sometimes I let the money go. So it's just a cost of doing business. Yeah. So no gurus will tell you that they lost money in the deal, you know, but I'm not perfect. No one is. Yes.
Do REOs and HUD sometimes not allow a signing?
Yes, that's true.
How do you get around that?
I will teach you how. In step number 2. Yes.
What kind of a deposit do you have, that 20% or is it totally different?
I will talk about that too. Like the actual earnest money that you put. That's your question, right? Yes.
Where do you get your drugs? You're writing down a list, you buy a list.
Yes. You buy a list off of ListSource. That's one source. ListSource.com. If you guys don't know that. And then another one is listability.com. Listability.com. Yes.
On the hard homes, how do you find those for investors? So they would have in our house, right?
Okay, the question is, are the HUD homes open to owner occupants first? Yes, they are for the first 15 days. But after that, you know, the first time it hits the market, we are making offers. So, you know, not to be cocky, but if you compete with me on HUD, good luck. So anyway, who else? All right, let's move on. Okay, so here's an example. So one day you got this email. Okay, so look at that. HUD bid acceptance, right? 503 Illinois City Park Forest. This is the exact house where I sent the person to the wrong house. Okay, and I know it's you know, you really can see it, but here are the details up there. The HUD list price is $53,100. We got it for $29,736.90. That's 56% of HUD list price. You know, who are the real estate agents in the room? Raise your hand. Okay, I won't take that against you. So, a lot of real estate agents will tell you, no, HUD will not accept an offer if it's, you know, only if it's 80% of HUD list or above, right? Have you guys heard that? Yeah. That's not true, okay? So, that's the back, that's the picture of the back of the house. Yes, question. Well, I'm not a licensed real estate agent, but yes, we do need a HUD certified real estate agent. In order to submit bid on HUD, you need their NAID number and their license number. Okay? So in our office, because we make like so many offers on HUD, we literally have one person working full time just on HUD. Yes.
So you use just like a HUD certified broker. You don't employ them yourself.
No. But we do have a person. Actually, that person is a virtual assistant working in India, submitting offers every day. You know, in the whole Chicago area, in Fort Myers, Florida. Well, in Minneapolis, we have an agent that does that. But yeah, we make, like someone asked me, like, how many offers do you make every week on HUD? And the answer is 1,000 offers every week. That's the offers that we make. Okay, so that's why I'm not exaggerating when I told you guys good luck when you compete with me.
How do you find a virtual assistant?
Okay, how do you find virtual assistants? How did I find him? I think he went to
Dr. Me.
Fiverr?
No, not Fiverr. There's another one that we
Odes.
not Odes, although I did found some people in Odes too. Elance, that's it. Alright, yes. Yeah. So there's a 15-day period where it's not open to investors. But after that, we are making bids already. So, yes.
When you're making these 1,000 offers a week, are you actually going to every property and looking at the repairs that need to be done in every property?
No, I don't. Well, you have to verify it.
Do you ever look at the property to see how much repairs it's going to take?
Yes, actually, for HUD, okay, for HUD, when we submit the offer, because you submit the offer online, right, in HUDhomestore.com, okay? When we submit the offer, we don't look at the properties yet. Okay, now we have a proprietary system, which I cannot disclose that, right? Unlike the gurus who will say, pay me $40,000 and tell you all my secrets. Well, that's not my business model, okay? I really make money in the deals, not on selling you information, okay? So I cannot disclose exactly how we do it, but after the offer gets accepted, if it's a deal, then we inspect it. Okay? Yes.
How did you get the discount on this property? On the other property you had?
Yeah, we made them an offer, and then they gave us a counter offer, and they gave us this counter offer, that they're willing to accept $29,000, even though the HUD list price is $53,000. Yes, at the back.
How do I find an area where I'm not competing with people like yourself?
You have to go out of Mill County, DuPage, Kane, and Kendall. Yeah, did everybody hear the question?
No.
Okay, the question is, if I get the offer accepted, when I inspect, it needs too much work, can I back out? Definitely yes, you can back out.
So do you offer before, can you go and inspect before you offer?
Yeah, you can. But not with 1,000 properties. Yes.
So with the property at 5231, what was your initial offer, and then you inspected the property and then you discounted it, or?
No. Okay. Well, let me give you some hints there. When HUD, okay, you submit an offer to HUD. The way our system works is all the offers get rejected. In some of the offers, they give a counter offer. Based on the counter offer, we will look at it and say, okay, does this counter offer make sense? And if it does, we will offer the counter offer. That's what happens here.
Yeah, but what was your offer originally?
$29,736.90.
And it was the.
It's got all your first offer.
That's
And
my
they
offer.
accepted it the first time.
No. They for a while they rejected it. They gave a counter offer, and eventually, I don't know. It's like when you're courting a girl. At first, she doesn't like you, kind of. And eventually, yeah, kind of like that. If without me disclosing too much information.
So you have the same offer every time they refuse?
Right. Yes, please. Okay, the question is what percentage of offers that we submit that gets accepted? To be honest, I haven't really looked at all the information, but yeah, between 5-10%. So. Okay, the question is how many days on market before they accepted the bid? It actually varies. I don't know, to be honest. For this particular one, I haven't really noted that. I mean, sometimes we get lucky, you know, that like 30 days in, they accepted our counter offer. I mean, our lowball offer. Sometimes, you know, I mean, we got a property in Zion for like 35% of list price. Because that property has been listed for like 382 days. So sometimes it happens quickly, sometimes, you know, you have to be patient and continue bidding, you know, just like courting a woman. So, yes.
You said you get 5 to 10% of your offers. That means you're buying 50 to 100 houses a week.
Well, yeah, that's true. So, well, when we get the acceptance, we don't follow through with the deals that don't make sense, right? Because I told you guys, we make offers sight unseen, right? But once the offer gets accepted, based on her question, right? I answered her question, we can back out if we don't like the deal. So we get 5% acceptance, it's true, you know, but we back out, you know, from a lot of those deals because the numbers don't make sense.
So you lose the
And how does not pay?
No, we don't lose. We don't lose. Okay, now this is not a hot seminar, okay? So there's still other topics. Okay, so all right. So for this particular deal, the after-repair value, everyone knows what after-repair value means? Okay. It's 100,000 and it needs 30 grand in work. So with us getting it for 29, right? I mean, it makes sense, right? And if we sell it for, let's say, 36 or 37, the buyer will still has, you know, money at the end of the day, right? So which goes to step 2, how do you analyze these deals, right? So to become a good wholesaler, or actually to become a good real estate investor, you need to know these numbers. You need to know the after-repair value, you know, with a level of accuracy enough that you have a good idea, you know, maybe within plus or minus 5%. You know, but, you know, don't go crazy like property is worth 200 and you're selling it, you know, and you're saying it's worth 400, right? I mean, that just won't work. You need to know the repairs, all right? You need to know the property taxes, because that comes into play when you present to the rehabber buyer what their holding cost will be, all right? You need to know the median rent for that particular property, because you need to, some of the deals that you get, you know, you present that to a landlord, right? And then lastly, you need to know the details about the property. Enough details, and to be honest, I don't know all the details about each property that we get, okay? But the bedrooms, bathrooms, the square footage, year built, school district, and definitely you got to get the address correctly, right? Give the right address to the buyer, you know, that sucks. Okay? You're my buyer, they gave you the wrong address, right?
Do you do all your inspections yourself?
No, I have a team of people that does that for me. So, all right. Now, how do we analyze the numbers, right? Who here has heard of the 70% rule for rehabbing? Okay? Don't use it. Right? It doesn't work. Okay? The gurus made a big deal out of that, but they don't explain why they got the 70% rule. Alright? But the reality is, in a lot of markets, the 70% rule don't work. You know, doesn't work. Okay? So what I do is I factor in all. Okay. If a property is good for a rehabber, I need to present it in a way that the rehabber understands and in a way that is relevant to him, right? At the end of the day, who here are rehabbers? Raise your hand. Okay. So you want to know, for example, Ben, I mean, I talked with Ben on some of my deals, right? REO, but anyway, didn't work out. Not because of Ben, not because of me, but because of the banks that is paid a little bit. So anyway, what was I about to say? Okay, so what Ben wants to know at the end of the day, if he rehabs the property, he buys it from me for $36,900, right? And he puts in 30 grand in work. will he really make money, right? So what his concern is the return on investment, right, Ben?
Yes, sir.
So, but, okay, I hear this all the time. Okay, the property is worth 100,000. I'm giving it to you for, let's say, 40,000. It needs 30 grand in work, therefore you'll make 30,000. Rehabbers in the room, is that true?
No.
No, right? But you get that all the time, am I correct? From so-called wholesalers?
Every day.
They present a deal, oh, you'll make so much money. You'll make 30 grand, right? Well, if you're all in for 70, there are other costs involved. Like what? Like when you sell this property, you have real estate agent commission, right? You have closing costs, you know?
Taxes.
The rehabber would close on it to buy and then pay the closing cost to buy, and then he will pay the closing cost to sell. So he has two sets of closing costs, right? He has to pay taxes, insurance, right? Utilities while he's rehabbing the property, right? So there are other costs involved, you know, that you have to factor in, all right? And we don't use a 70% rule because each rehabber is different, but what I try to do is I want to give to my rehabber buyer a return on investment of at least 20%, okay? And I know some of you, rehabbers want more than that, right? Some of you want 30% return, okay? So, but what I found is that most rehabbers are okay making 20% return on their money. That's without using hard money, okay? So, I structured the deal so that I buy it low enough that if I give my rehabber a 20% return, I still make my wholesale fee of $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. Okay? So my rehabber is happy, he'll make 20% return, and I'm happy I get paid, and I'm in and out with no risk in the deal. So that's why I don't use a 70% rule. Because, I mean, for example, you use that, okay, the whole idea behind the 70% rule is that, you have closing cost of 10% plus profit of 20%, but it doesn't really take into account everything too. So in some markets, if you use a 70% rule, you'll pay too much. In other markets, let's say you go to $1 million homes, when you use the 70% rule, it doesn't work. Okay? Because you're assuming your closing cost alone will be like $20,000 based on how the math works out, but it doesn't work that way. Okay? So that's why I use a spreadsheet in order to factor in all the costs. And I present to the rehabber, hey Ben, you'll make 20% return on this deal. Is this deal, does this make sense to you? Do you want to make 20% return, or is your target higher than that? So then we have a conversation, and if this deal works for him, then I wholesale it to him. If not, then I move on to another deal with another buyer, okay? Now, also, when you sell a property, ideally, you analyze that property from both a rehabber standpoint and from a landlord standpoint. The ideal property to wholesale is a property where you can sell it either way, to either types of buyers. And although it doesn't always work that way, there are just some areas like, Naperville, where you're dealing with higher price ranges, wherein it doesn't make sense to rent the property. Okay, it will be negative cash flow, right? And then there are other areas, like some of the suburbs, south side Chicago, wherein, one example is Bishop, right? Wherein it will cost more to rehab it than what it's worth. So that deal just won't work to rehab and resell it, right? But ideally, if you can structure the deal so that it makes sense to either a rehabber or a landlord, then it's a great deal, right? Because the number of buyers you have for that deal just basically almost doubles, right? Because you have rehabbers, rehabbers want it, landlords want it. So that's why it's important for you to present the deal from the point of view of both the rehabber and the landlord. And, again, landlords in the room, who here are landlords? All right, good. Isn't it true that if the rent, let's say, is $1,500 and your PITI is $1,000, you really don't make $500 a month, right? There are other expenses again. But unfortunately, a lot of so-called wholesalers will pitch a deal like that to you, right? Oh, you can rent it for $1,500 and your PIT is only $1,000, you make $500 a month, right? Well, that's wrong. You really won't make that because you have to factor in vacancy, right? Other expenses like maintenance and repairs. And then you have to factor in reserves. What is reserves? Well, a roof has a lifespan of 20 to 30 years. So every year you have to save like 1/20th of the price of the roof. You factor that in as your reserve, right? So that's reserves. Most people don't even calculate that in their numbers, but we do, okay? That's why when I restarted my real estate business in Chicago in 2013, when I look at the industry and I get a lot of these so-called wholesalers and they're not doing a good job at being diligent with their numbers, they don't know their numbers, I started the diligentwholesaler.com. Because, just by being diligent, I separate myself from my competition. Simple thing like that, right? Knowing your numbers. And it helps that I'm a landlord too, so I know. But a lot of these newbies, I guess the gurus again, have something to do with this because they make wholesaling seem like it's risk-free, anybody can do it, just find a property, sell it using, misleading ads on Craigslist, right? And then you make money, right? But there's more to that, than finding a deal and, finding the sucker to buy it from you. Okay? So you got to know your numbers and you got to leave meat on the bone for your buyer, right? And landlords, you want cash on cash return, right? So if I put down $20,000 and I'm getting $200 a month, right? That's, 12% return per year, right? So they want to know that, right? But if you don't know what that means and you're trying to wholesale to a landlord, well, you got to go back to the drawing board and learn that first. I'm not saying that you have to become a landlord, but you have to know the numbers. Okay, very, very important. So that when you talk to a landlord, you talk in a language that they can understand. Therefore, when you present a deal, you can show them, hey, this particular deal in Oak Avenue, Country Club Hills, you will make $1 million plus a month cash flow, and your, cash and cash return is almost 13%.
So what is the percent actually? 13 is good?
What is a good cash and cash return?
Yeah.
It depends. It depends on the area. So when you're dealing with A areas, for example, Lyle, where we are, Naperville, Downers Grove, North Side Chicago, landlords are okay with, like an 8% cap. When you go to a B area, one step lower than an A, they're okay with 9% cap. When you go to the blue-collar neighborhoods, they're okay with 10% cap, at least based on experience. Okay, so now the objective then, when you have a property suitable for landlords, right, is you got to get the property at a higher cap rate, so that when you sell it at a lower cap rate, that's how you make money. Okay. Anyone has questions on that? Yes.
Just a quick question. Have you had much success with the properties like you're talking about? It doesn't make sense because it costs too much to make a rehab. Have you ever had it where it was maybe a prestigious area where the land itself is worth a lot of money, and you can wholesale the deal under the deal of you buy this, and then you can tear the building down, build a multi-billion-dollar whatever.
Tear downs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's a great question. In a tear down situation, we look at what the land is worth and we subtract the cost of the demolition and our wholesale fee. And then we pitch that to the, to a developer.
Yeah.
So, and also we have to factor in the fact that we want the developer to make money too. So we actually factor in like 20% again, profit margin for them. So, yes, Janet.
Are there some areas where it takes a lot of red tape to get approval for a tear down?
I'm not a developer, so I don't know. The question is, are there areas where it takes a lot of time to get approval? I guess the answer is yes. But I haven't done development. I don't know. So. Anyone else? Yes. Yes.
Obviously, slides in place.
It's right there.
Readable copies.
Readable copies.
Your website,
Yeah, it's actually on Bigger Pockets. Yeah, if you go to Real Life or Real Estate Investor, I have it there. Yes, anyone? So I have it. Yes.
Can you elaborate more on the you were saying on the
Mhm.
Can you just describe that a little more?
Okay. So what's a cap rate? A cap rate is the return that you want to make on an investment property, assuming you're paying cash for it. Okay. So for example, the property you paid $100,000 for a property, and it gives you $8,000 in a year in net operating income. Okay. So you make 8% cap rate. So that's the simplest definition of cap rate I can think of. If you go to the guru classes, they'll tell you like all fancy things, but bottom line, this is the no BS definition of that. Yes? Anyone? Yes.
How much is usually your wholesale fee? You usually charge, like, say if you got a real good deal,
Uh-huh.
you put, like, set it for a certain amount, or it doesn't depend on each year?
Okay, so the question is how much is my typical wholesale fee? It depends on the deal, but you know, the typical range, I mean, my average wholesale fee is $10,000. Yes.
When you present this deal to the rehab buyer, you can show them actually your purchase price, or you just mark up on that purchase price your fee.
Yeah, so I already marked it up. So for example, for Oak Avenue Country Club Hills, that's $19,900 is the price that they're paying for the property, and that already incorporates my wholesale fee. So, yes.
That was a good question, what you said, but also, you mark it up. If people just try to always get a better deal, do you leave room for negotiation?
Okay, the question is, do I mark up the price so that I leave room for negotiation? Generally, I don't. You know, I generally don't negotiate on the price because I'm getting this at such good deals that, you know, sometimes I give away 1,000 or 2,000, a whole lot. You know, so it also depends on the deal. If the margin on the deal is only $5,000, then I tell the buyer, I only have $5,000 spread in here. Help me out. Is this a good deal to you or not? You know, so yes.
We're going to cover this assignments. When you're going to sign a contract to your end buyer, do you give them the assignment right then, or do you wait right before the closing?
I always wait until the closing. Yeah, I want to be sure that the buyer, that the buyer, you know, that there are no last minute problems with regard to title, you know, and things like that. I always, you know, make money when all of that is done before I receive my assignment fee.
Now, you do that maybe a week before the closing. If the fee is over $10,000, do you have some buyers that say like, hey, that's making too much, and do you do transactional funding if it's too big?
No, I don't. I mean, my philosophy is if the deal is good enough, so what if I make 20,000 on it, right? I mean, I bought a house in Eden from a wholesaler, and I know he's making 15,000 on it, and I'm okay with that.
You're going to make 40.
Yeah, because I'm going to make 40. Yes.
have you ever had any legal issues with come up as part of the transaction that you're conducting?
Okay, legal issues. I had sellers back out of the deal, for example. So other than that, no. Okay, so let's move on. So that's the key with step number 2 is know your numbers and know how to present them in the right way to the right people, right? And then step number 3, you need to control the property, right? Because I always get this, you know, like emails all the time. I have this deal, you know, and then when I check, it's listed on the MLS. You have control over this property. Well, no. Okay? Don't do that. Okay? So you need to control the property with a purchase contract, right? And well, several ways to control the property. One is a purchase contract, wherein the buyer and the seller agrees to sell the property to each, the seller agrees to sell the property, and is obligated to sell to that buyer, and the buyer has to buy. That's a purchase contract. You can have an option to purchase, okay, which could be one-sided, meaning the seller has said it to me, but I don't need to buy. Now, if I don't like the deal, or let's say I'm buying a property in an area that I'm not familiar with, then I'm going to have an option to purchase. Okay? So for example, Jay found a seller of land in Washington State, right? And it's like, Washington State, what am I going to do with this? It's like, and it's land, and it's in Washington State, right? So what we did is we have an option to purchase the land for $1.4 million, right? And based on the geological study, it has what, like $500 million of high-grade rock.
Yeah.
So we're trying to sell it for $5 million, So but it's an option to purchase. I don't need to close on it if I cannot find a buyer. So that's the beauty of option to purchase, right? Now, I got a question earlier. If it's HUD, you need to put earnest money, right? With HUD, if the price is $50,000 and below, your earnest money is only $500. If it's above that, it's $1,000. So, okay. Are you guys learning something new here?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Good. All right. Okay. With HUD, if it's 50,000 and below, or I think if it's below 50,000, it's $500. If it's above that, it's $1,000. Now, knowing that it's from the government, anything can happen, right? So it could change tomorrow. I don't know. So, but yeah, I mean, with only $500, you're able to control a deal. So the way I look at it is, it's like you have an option to buy a piece of stock for $500, and you can make $5,000. I mean, it's so cool, So one of the deals that we have in Chicago North Side, I told the investor, because I want to be sure, it's a 50-50 partnership that I have with this Hong Kong-based investor, and I told him, his name is Ian, with this particular deal, we can make $100,000. When we fix it and rehab it, and then resell it, we can make $100,000. But the bank wants $5,000 earnest money. There's a possibility that the house will not appraise because we're doing something like a second floor addition, high-end finishes. I mean, there's a certain level of risk. So are you willing to risk, basically $2,500, your $2,500, if you're going to make $50,000, right? So to me, the risk makes sense. So anyway, it's like having that stock for $2,500 that can go up to $50,000 basically. That's the cool thing about wholesaling. Now, what else? If you're dealing with motivated sellers, then you want as much as possible not to put a big earnest money. I put earnest money as low as $1. So, I mean, in Ohio, I mean, this is kind of funny. In Ohio, the earnest money consideration doesn't even have to be money. I mean, it's legal. You can research this. It can be love and affection. So,
do you make it out to the seller, or do you make earnest money to the escrow company or the seller? What do you get?
As much, well, the question is, do I give it to the seller or to the title company? I always give it to the title company because I don't want the seller to run away with the money and not close the deal. So that can happen, by the way. Yes, Robert.
How do you tell the seller that you're going to give them $10 earnest money when they're expecting, I don't know, $1,000?
Okay, so the question is, how do I tell them that I'm giving them $10 when they're expecting 1,000, right? Well, over the phone, when I talk to them, I kind of assess their level of motivation. And believe it or not, guys, not all people are motivated by money. Okay? I know we investors were motivated, but not all people are the same as us, right? They don't think that way. You know, like the seller in Bishop. I mean, he's sick and tired of that property. It's costing him money literally every day, you know, and he doesn't want to do anything with it. So he's not asking for earnest money, so we give him $1. So, any other questions?
Yes, we need more houses for $1.
Do we have any more houses for $1? I'm telling you, if we focus on that, we can get a lot of houses for $1. In fact, we put up a non-profit. You know, man, I'm telling you too many more secrets here. We put up a non-profit, you know, to be able to help people, provide housing for them. By dealing with investors, you need to get rid of their properties anyway, you know. So that's a cool strategy, you know. And there are many properties out there you can get for free, basically. Okay. Now, before I forget this, when you're submitting an offer to the bank, you know, like a bank REO or to HUD, you need proof of funds. Okay? Proof of funds can be your bank statement, if you have a lot of cash in the bank. Okay? It can be your retirement account. You know, when I started investing, you know, that's what I showed as my proof of funds. Or you can talk with a hard money lender, so that the hard money lender can write you a proof of funds. You know, but of course, the hard money lender will vet you out first. How much is your income? You know, sometimes you look at the experience. You know, how much cash reserve do you have? And then they will tell you you qualify for 100,000. Yes, Sharon.
That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use the monies from that account.
Right.
You just have to prove that you have potential funds there.
Yep.
But with HUD, don't you have like a certain amount of holding time?
No. No, I mean, the question is there a holding time? So your proof of funds have to be there?
No, not on the funds, on flipping it, on wholesaling.
Oh yeah, I mentioned that earlier. You have 30 days, sometimes 45 days, and then you can extend it to.
No, not to tie up the
Deed restrictions.
Yeah.
Oh, deed restrictions. No, HUD doesn't have deed restrictions. Homesteads have, you know, but not HUD. Okay. So, but if they have, well, I don't know. Home path or homesteads, we don't deal with those, but with HUD, we deal with them. I mean, it's basically different branches of the housing authority. So, to be honest, I don't know, but we deal with HUD. So, home path, not homestead, home path.